Hi, and welcome to the launch of the EY Foundation's Impact Report. I'm Dawn Jones, and I work for the EY Foundation team and have done for the last 2 years. During this time, I've had the great pleasure of doing one of the international treks, the Great Wall of China, earlier this year, and I'll also be going on the Sahara Trek next year with also one of our panellists, Jack, as well, which we're really looking forward to. I've also been able to assist in the recruiting of the new Youth Advisory Board, which we'll also be covering during this chat. So for the first time ever, we've taken our launch event online to make it more accessible and to reach a bigger audience. It also means a video of this event will be available afterwards for anyone who can't watch the live stream. So I'm joined today by Mary-Ann Matthews, Jack, Fahima and Tim Mart. So it'd be great if you could just introduce yourself and just explain your connection to the foundation. So, Mary-Ann?
Hello, I'm Mary-Ann Matthews. I founded the foundation 5 years ago and I'm Chief Executive.
Jack?
My name is Jack Broughton and I took part in the Our Future programme 2019.
My name is Fahima, so I'm part of the Youth Advisory Board, and I'm a Smart Futures alumni as well.
I'm CEO and co-founder of Know You More. We were participants in the EY Foundation's Accelerate programme in Scotland.
Excellent. So over the next 45 minutes, we will talk about some of the key achievements from the past year and understand more about the impact of the Foundation's programmes on our panellists. A link to the report itself will be emailed out to everyone after this event. And finally, it is possible to send your questions through via YouTube, and we will try to respond to as many as possible at the end of the session. So, Mary-Ann, can you give a quick overview of what the Foundation does?
Thanks, Dawn. So, the Foundation has a really deep held belief, which is the reason we set it up, that young people deserve better, and that whatever your background as a young person, whatever barriers to the labour market there are, that you can achieve your work potential and that you can do a job and have a career that you want to do. And to do that, we have set up 4 really high impactful programmes, and we've heard today from participants on 3 of them. And those programmes essentially work both sides of the labour market. So we support young people to develop their skills, their networking skills, their confidence, and we also work with employers to get them young people ready so that they can offer really high quality work experience, and they support young people to enter their workplace and hopefully find jobs in their sectors.
Okay. So it's been a year of growth for the Foundation, as we know, supporting over 4,000 young people and social entrepreneurs. So what have been the key highlights and headline points from this year?
Yeah, so we've had an amazing year, and just in terms of young people, you mentioned 4,000, that's a staggering 155% growth, which we're really proud of. But we've also grown in other areas. We now work with over 300 employers of different sizes across the UK, and we also have over 3,000 volunteers who also we work with. So it's a really strong growth picture. And what we've also done in our 5th year, which we celebrated this year, we have been working on the national curriculum, and we're working with primary schools in the North East, which we kicked off this year, and that's around testing a pilot approach where we can get employability skills into the curriculum from a very early age. And this really is about creating a transition pathway for very young children to older people like Jack and Fahima, so they make successful transitions into the workplace. So it's been a great year, and I think the Foundation team, fantastic, with a great board of trustees. But also I just want to thank all our employers and our volunteers and supporters, because actually we are a small team. It's genuinely an effort of many people in many different locations across the UK.
So on a personal level, what has the last year meant to you, and what have you enjoyed most? And what's been your biggest challenge as well?
I enjoy it all. I think the Foundation, and just sitting here talking earlier to Tim, Fahima and Jack, it just makes you feel very proud. And I know that lots of people who are connected with the Foundation feel that as well. I think one of my highlights was that earlier in the year we decided that we wanted to support young people in care for the first time. But we didn't just dash off and set up a programme. We worked with 75 young people who are in care or have been in care, and we've co-designed with them a programme which we are launching this year. And that to me felt like a real milestone because we work with young people who live in poverty, and we already work with young people who have other barriers to the labour market, for example, special educational needs. But we haven't yet worked with young people exclusively who are in care systems. So for us, that felt a really important step forward, and we've been supported in that by the wonderful CareTech Foundation. We hope to launch the programme this year.
Lovely.
In terms of my challenge, I should say, and that is, sorry, you gave me the look of, I need to finish the question. You're a very good chair. So in terms of the challenge, so I go to lots of different programme graduations, our futures, smart futures, and there can be 50, there can be 80 young people in the room who are graduating. And whilst on the one hand it's brilliant, the other hand there are just not enough young people. The fact is that there are so many young people in need who are either leaving uni and are becoming underemployed or leaving college, or who are just becoming needs. And I think for young people in the UK now, they need more of the programmes that we run and other charities run. And so for me, the challenge is, can we meet that need, and can we get the labour market to recognise the talent of young people in the UK?
Thank you. So time now to find out about the experience of those who have taken part in programmes. And panellists, please feel free to jump in with any other questions that you may have. So Jack, you were on the Our Futures programme last year with Mace, and recently became an ambassador for the foundation.
Yes.
Can you tell us why you decided to apply to join the programme?
Well, before I took part in the programme, I literally had no confidence. I was a very nervous person, very shy. And I got given the opportunity to take part in the programme. I thought, you know what, it could open me up to so many experiences, and it did. It gave me so much confidence within the whole programme and made me less of a shy person. And I just wanted to experience something new and try more experiences within the real working life.
Excellent. So what were your programme highlights?
Programme highlights would have been, well, the main one that topped it all off was we done a Dragon's Den presentation, and this is in front of Peter Dunn, the EY Foundation Chairman, and we had to present this mobile phone that basically would be built in the future and how we advertise it to young and older generations. And at the end of the presentation, he gave me the Best Presenter Award, and I felt really chuffed because I did not have the confidence in me beforehand to talk in front of such a higher person within the foundation. I felt really proud of myself because of that, and that was the biggest highlight of the whole programme for me.
So, did the programme change your perspective on the world of work?
Yeah, absolutely. It showed me more things I could do within the working life, and there was so many more opportunities out there than what I thought there was before I took part in the programme. So it opened me up for lots of more experiences and more like construction-based jobs I could take part in, and more jobs within the foundation that I'd like to take part in, which was a bit of a mind opener for me, and it was nice to see that there was more opportunities than just one thing I had my mind set on.
Okay. So can you tell me a bit more about your mentoring?
Well, my mentor was, he is the project director for the MACE, which we've done the work experience with. And we have every fortnight we have like a little phone call, or we have like a catch up, have a coffee. But while he mentoring me, he gave me like a lot of confidence, and he showed me a lot of different job opportunities that I would like to take part in. And he helped me out a lot with like my CV and getting more work experience outside of it. And it's all around friendly person that I could talk to, someone like there for me to help me out when I need help, and just a nice feeling to have, knowing that someone so friendly and someone such an important job is there to help me when I need it, and vice versa sort of way. It's really nice to have that comfort.
And the final question, what's your hopes for the future?
My hopes for the future would be hopefully build myself up within the construction, like progress a bit further on, like site manager, construction manager, build up more and more, or even progress further within the foundation to help young people such as myself on the same programs. And I said, like, just to show people like myself out there they can do anything if they need to do it, and I want to help them to the best of their ability at the same time as the way the foundation helped me. I'd really like to progress that way.
Lovely. Thank you, Joe. Now moving on to Fahima. So you were on the Smart Futures programme last year, and you recently become a member of the Foundation's new Youth Advisory Board. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how did you find out about the programme and why did you apply?
So Smart Futures or Youth Advisory?
Smart Futures.
Smart Futures. Yeah. Okay, so the way I sort of found out about the Smart Futures program was they've actually come into my school and did a little presentation. So they just explained the sort of program, what it was about. And at that moment in time, I was really unsure about what I wanted to pursue. Like I had two sort of interests which are completely different. I wanted to either go with pediatrics or go with finance. I know, so they're like complete opposite ends of the world, but they were both something that I really enjoyed, but I just didn't know what to pursue. So I did sort of work experiences with both, and then when that opportunity came along, I was like, do you know what, let me just apply, let's see what happens, you never know, I might not even get it. And then I got the phone call, got the interview, and then it went really, really well. And it was my first sort of like interview in that sort of formal setting, so I didn't know what I was sort of going in for. So I think I was incredibly nervous, but then when I got through it, I was just so surprised. Like I was one of the only ones in my school that got through, which was quite shocking because, like Jack, I was really, really shy and I really kept to myself.
Yeah.
So having like an experience like that and going through it is like such an amazing feeling. You're like, I can't believe that I've gone through to it. So then, yeah, so I applied, I went through, and then that's how I got in, basically. Yeah.
Good. So did anything surprise you about the programme?
So I think the main thing that did surprise me is the overall environment of EY. So it was a lot different to what I'd experienced previously. Like I've done sort of experiences with Barclays and JP Morgan and KPMG, and I feel like when you go in there, it's a very different setting. Not necessarily a bad way, but it's just when you go in, you feel like you've got to keep to yourself and be quite proper and quite strict. But when I went to EY, it was a lot more social and a lot more about the people, which I really, really enjoyed. Like especially going in there. A lot of people that joined the program, they actually went with their friends. So I was the only one in my school, I didn't know anyone, and I was so nervous going in, but everyone was so welcoming. And then as soon as we went in, we had to do an icebreaker session, and then it was just really good because everyone got to know each other. So the students who applied, as well as like the mentors and everything. So it's very cool because you can see that you don't actually need to be nervous about anything. Everyone made you feel really, really welcome. So I think that's like something that really shocked me, the whole overall environment of what it was like.
Yeah. So just moving on to the Youth Advisory Board, which you remember. Marianne, if we can just start with you. So what is the Youth Advisory Board and why did you set it up?
So young people are we've always said this since we founded the foundation, are at the head and heart of everything we do. And we have had in the past two youth panels, one that worked across the whole foundation and one that was working on school to work, which is the primary school pilot we talked about earlier. Decided at year 5 that for going into year 6 and beyond, we wanted to create a mechanism for young people to have a more strategic voice in the foundation. And we also wanted to come good on a new commitment we've made to begin to co-design and co-produce everything we do with young people. And so I led on the work because I felt very passionate about getting something which young people like Fahima could feel that it wasn't just a talking shop. It's a group of young people who are an advisory board and they work across to the main board of the foundation. And all very supportive, and we want a number of young people to design the composition, a number of young people on it, and reflect that it will be national, so we have young people from across the UK on it. And having designed it, we then advertised it, and we had an amazing response from many hundred young people, so it did really well to get on it. So, you know, in a sense, we have now a new mechanism for getting young people to read, not just input generally across the foundation, but also to input directly to our board in the way we decide how we'll go about programmes, the strategy, the resourcing and the governance of the whole foundation. So it's very exciting and I'm really looking forward next to see the impact it's going to have.
Good. So the final question to you, Fahima. Why did you apply to be a youth advisory board member?
So I think growing up, I did take part in a lot of initiatives, sort of stuff like that. But it was more just sort of just with my friends. I've always sort of been interested in that sort of side, just helping other people and just using that sort of side of things. So then I got an email about the youth advisory board, and I thought, let me just look into it, see what it's about, see what they've done in the past, and then I read up a little bit about the care program that's coming up as well. And then when I read about that, I was like, that's something that I'm definitely interested in. And I thought, let me just give it a go, and we applied. And then alongside that as well, it was, if the people didn't come into my school to do that presentation, I don't know what I would have chosen to do my degree now, or what the career that I'm pursuing. So I feel like being part of the youth advisory board will be very cool, my sort of way of giving back. So maybe I can be that someone to persuade someone to sort of come in, apply as well, and just let them know that it is possible, you know. Even if you're shy, just that shouldn't hold you back. Your confidence shouldn't be one thing. It's something that you can sort of build up on and just encourage others to apply as well. So hopefully I thought that's my way of just sort of giving back as well, like they did with me.
So Tim, you are the CEO and co-founder of Know You More.
There were workshops that we got the ability to, the opportunity, should I say, to attend to around pitching and legal structures. We got a lot of support actually from the people within EY in terms of access to some of the, for example, EY law, to help us draft out things like legal documents, which is incredible resource to have at your disposal when you're such a small organisation. And I think fundamentally social capital, to be able to come in and meet people and build network, and I think any business obviously needs capital in the monetary form, but that whole thing about having other humans to connect with, and we built up a really wonderful relationship with the foundation and EY itself as well over that time.
Right. So I hear that there might be a new partnership with the foundation.
Yes, so this is, and I think this is what's quite wonderful in terms of the cyclical nature of it, I guess, and through the support that we've been able to get from the foundation, we've been able to grow, we've been able to acquire a lot of kind of clients, and now work with digital coaching, and now it's our turn to kind of, give back into the foundation as well, in more of a kind of co-creation and collaboration sense. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be offering digital coaching. We have a program called Level Up, which is very strengths focused to try and help young adults really connect with and champion themselves. And we'll be supporting alumni of some of the programs in the UK with that program as well. So hopefully kicking it off in December, which is really exciting.
Fantastic. So what has changed now in the way your social enterprise runs?
I think we have a better sense of identity and clarity in terms of the problem, the value proposition that we put into commercial organisations, the problem that we solve, and how that lovely inclusive growth model works in terms of, as I shared with you earlier, Marianne, someone feeling invested within an organisation and really seeing the impact then that's having on the community and the connection of that. Mm-hmm. So that's, I guess, our place in the world is a lot clearer, and I guess the path that we want to go down is a lot clearer as well as, again, coming back to the start, that sense of sustainability as we've started to, acquire more clients and go from there.
Excellent. And just finally, what's your ambition for the future?
The ambition is personal ambition, and what it is, we want to support 100,000 young adults. So I guess that kind of relates to doing a lot more. So really growing, I think, that from the digital perspective of what we do, and the large community that we have means that we can reach people, young adults, in areas where they couldn't normally access it, and not just in the UK, but beyond that as well. So there's a real opportunity. And I think when we started this out, the world wasn't quite ready for what we did, if that makes sense. 4 years ago, when I said, yeah, we're going to do digital coaching, people went, you're mad. There's now a growing market for that now, so the world's kind of caught up with us in many senses. So I think there's a real opportunity for us, not just to make huge impact in organisations and cultures and helping people in that space, but also then the impact that we can in terms of supporting young adults as well.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, looking to the next year, Marianne, what do you hope the foundation will achieve?
I mean, in some sense, it's more of the same. I mean, I think just listening to three of my co-presenters, much more of all of that for many more young people and social entrepreneurs would be fantastic, and that's our aim. But as a sort of headline level, we want to scale up and scale deep. So we absolutely want to support more young people in the UK, and our aim is to support 11,000 each year by 2022, and we're making really good progress towards that now. And also work with more employers, volunteers and social entrepreneurs. So there's a real desire to accelerate our growth and accelerate our impact now. The second part of it is to scale deep, and this is around, it's not just about volume, it has to be around really deep interventions for some young people and not in great numbers. And for that we are doing two particular things. I mentioned care to employment, we're launching that in the next couple of months, and that will be working with up to 200 young people who are in care in 3 different locations. And then secondly, also scaling deep, if you like, is some collective impact work. We've just started. We are working with Chance UK, an amazing charity, and also Leap Confronting Conflict, at the Centre for Towns and the Centre for Youth Impact. And what we're doing is coming together to look at how we can get better outcomes for young people from childhood into adulthood through taking a system-wide view of change. And we'll be doing initial work on that in 3 towns in England in the coming year. So we're really excited about that. And I think the last bit is around impact. In a sense, the impact, you can feel it in the room. We can feel it amongst us. But it's also really important that we can tell that story in other ways. And we're very committed to getting more impact reporting, impact measurement. But also, we are stretching our impact, if you like. So we are moving from helping young people like Fahima and Jack think about different choices and different career pathways, to actually offering young people in work support. So we'll be more and more working with employers to get young people into work and to stay in work. And we know for many young people, work is really important to do early, and helping young people post-school to get into professional apprenticeship pathways is a next stretch for us. So some really more work-focused outcomes are coming in the following year as well.
So for those watching, how can they get involved?
There are many ways. You can channel your inner Dawn across the business or climb the double China. She never mentioned that she did this on a voluntary basis. It wasn't part of her day job. So you can channel your inner Dawn. We've run amazing treks. They're always on our bucket lists. We try to make sure they're really exciting for people, but they also raise money, and often when we can invite them and they feel up for going, we have lovely people like Jack coming along and actually being on a trek or being on a challenge, and they raise a lot of money, but they also give a great sense of pride to people on them, so you can volunteer for that. If you wanted to support as a business coach to a wonderful social entrepreneur like Tim, or to Fahima as a mentor, we are always looking for new volunteers to do those kind of things. And of course, if there are any employers watching, we would absolutely love to have you provide work experience, mentors, or do other things with us in support of young people and increasing their successful entry into the labour market. And finally, funding. We are a charity and we have to raise our own funds, and so therefore funding support is really important to us. And I think if you have a look in our impact report, you'll get a real sense of how much value for money we offer from funds that we raise for people.
Excellent, thank you. And to the other panellists, tell me in a couple of sentences why people watching should support the foundation. If you can start with Jack.
Do you know, you don't realise how much of an opportunity that the foundation actually give you. Until you if you sign up for it, it opens so many doors and introduces you to so many people, a new working lifestyle, and it's such an amazing opportunity for young people to take part in, and I will never regret taking part in it. I think it's such a chance to do something so good.
I think similar to Jack, I think young people should just take every opportunity on hand. Having something like this is such an amazing opportunity that not everyone gets to have. So I think if you are able to go for it, I feel like you should just go for it. Even if you don't necessarily want to get into finance or business, I think definitely just something, just to give it a go, just to see what it's like, because that's exactly what I did. And now I know like sort of exactly what I want to pursue in the future. So it's made my decision a lot more easier, like going into uni and everything like that. So I think it's definitely a wonderful opportunity, and there's no loss in just giving it a go. You build more skills and like more employability skills than you'd think. So you don't necessarily have to get into business or finance, but it's just something to give it a go, really. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And Tim?
I think social entrepreneurs, when they start out, they often see a problem that they want to solve, and they're very connected at a community level. That's quite a journey from going from wanting to solve a problem to becoming a sustainable business. That you get and the resources you get as part of the accelerator program are really valuable when it comes to network, capital, and a lot of learning and skills. Again, coming back to the whole as an advocate of coaching, having someone who's completely dedicated to you and gives you the kind of confidence and the time to help you develop yourself, I think is huge as well. So absolutely recommend it.
That's great. Thank you very much. Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time, so we're not able to take any questions. But I'd like to thank all the panellists for taking part during this session, and I hope that everyone has enjoyed watching the discussion. As we said earlier, a link for the Impact Report will be shared later today. Thank you.